Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for a brief ceremony as we officially acknowledge and welcome the College of Dental Medicine to the University of New England academic community. Governor LePage, President Rippich, Provost Coble, faculty, staff, students, and honored guests. The pomp and circumstance of academia is part of a long tradition dating back to the Middle Ages, honoring the legacy of scholarly inquiry that builds on the discoveries and the inspirations of the past to offer new ideas and insights for the future. The gowns and regalia we are wearing today signify the pride of heritage that each of us hold in the specific disciplines we have pursued, with the distinctive colors, markings, they signify the degrees we have attained in the professions we represent. Similarly, the banners you see in the front row represent the separate colleges of study that integrate the knowledge of disparate disciplines into a common philosophical and intellectual set of themes, pursuits, and practices. These banners are called gonfalons. A gonfalon was originally the name given to a meeting in medieval Florence. Each neighborhood had its own flag and coat of arms, leading to the word gonfalon becoming associated with the word flag. They eventually became an important part of religious processions, and the act of carrying the banner was believed to be an act of worship. From the 13th to the 16th century, plague banners were produced and carried in processions as a way to plead for divine intercession to prevent or cure the plague. From an academic standpoint, they represent our knowledge, our worship of knowledge, and our desire to ward off the plague of ignorance. James Coble, Doctor of Dental Surgery, Provost and Founding Dean of the College of Dental Medicine, will you please step forward to receive the gonfalon for the College of Dental Medicine? Danielle Rippich, Doctor of Philosophy and President of the University of New England, will you please step forward to read the presentation?
Thank you. Doctor of Philosophy Gail Brazeau, Dean of the College of Pharmacy, will you please step forward and place your banner to the right of the stage? Doctor of Philosophy Elizabeth Frances Connolly, Dean of Westbrook College of Health Professions, will you please step forward and place your banner to the left of the stage? Doctor of Philosophy Jeannie A. Hay, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, will you please step forward and place your banner to the right of the stage? Doctor of Philosophy David R. Mannion, on behalf of Dr. Douglas Wood, Dean of the College of Osteopathic Medicine, will you please step forward and place your banner to the left of the stage? And now, Dr. James Coble, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the deans, and the faculty members of the colleges that you see before you, I, President Danielle Rippich, ask you to accept this gonfalon heralding the inclusion of the College of Dental Medicine into the ranks of scholarship at the University of New England. And by so accepting this honor and display this gonfalon proudly at all official academic convocations and celebrations in acknowledgement of the inherent responsibility it represents to provide educational excellence with intellectual integrity. Please join your colleagues by placing the College of Dental Medicine's gonfalon with the others. And we welcome the College of Dental Medicine, its faculty, staff, and students.
to stand up on?
I don't know, I did.
These behind the stage secrets here. All right, I'll stand up here. But I look taller already, huh? Well, you know, what can you say?
Can we be seated?
Can we be seated? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Bill was waving to me. I got so distracted by this podium here. Well, you know, there are very few times in life where somebody like me is rendered speechless. But I will try to overcome that this afternoon. This is really a big deal for all of us, and we're glad you could all join us for this event. You know, my wife has me watch all those old Barbra Streisand movies, and it wasn't until this moment in time that I truly understood the meaning of the word verklempt, because that's what I am right now. You know, life moves pretty quickly. In my case, I have a telephone that's smarter than I am. I have a car that's smarter than I am. I have a woman in my dashboard that's smarter than I am. And things seem to move faster and faster every day. But I think once in a while it's important that we stop and recognize that we've reached a very special time in our lives. And this is one of those times for all of us. It doesn't require a moment of silence, but I think it requires a moment of quiet celebration. The recognition of what a dedicated, talented, and visionary group of people can accomplish if they just have the will. This beautiful state-of-the-art teaching and learning facility will provide a place where current and future dental and dental hygiene students will learn to provide high-quality, compassionate oral health care to thousands of patients using the most modern equipment and techniques. And we don't want to forget the major renovation. I'm looking at Bunny Mills. We don't want to forget the renovation of Coleman Hall that was done this summer, the home of our dental hygiene program, which celebrated its 50th anniversary this year. Congratulations, Bunny, and to all of your folks. This isn't good. I feel too tall. I'm going to be slouching. You know, it's important, I think, to realize that whenever we reach these points in our lives where we feel we've accomplished something special, we've really been able to do it because of the achievements of people that have gone before us. There was a time when anyone with a set of instruments and the desire could establish himself as a dentist. And back in those days, it was just hims. There were no hers. Training was through an apprenticeship, watching and learning from another similarly trained practitioner. So as you might imagine, the quality of care varied greatly from practitioner to practitioner. At that time, dentistry was really not a true profession. In 1848, the editor of the New York Times complained, "Any person who can possess himself of a few scrapers is at liberty to do what seems good to him with the ivories of all who have courage enough to entrust themselves to his hands." Proprietary for-profit schools abounded. But fortunately, there were dentists and others who believed dentistry should be based upon a sound scientific foundation, and that this newly emerging profession required a much more comprehensive university-based system of education. And so the first dental school in the world was incorporated by the legislature of the state of Maryland on March 6, 1840. That was the Baltimore College of Dental Surgery. We've come a long way. And when you get into this building later, you'll see we've come a long way. The governor is here, and I want to recognize that Maine's investment in the College of Dental Medicine through the Dental Bond really represents a very unique public-private partnership. And as our president says, UNE is a private university with a public mission. And I think, and we all think, the state's investment in this dental school will reap significant returns, not only now, but well into the future. For example, 24 members of our first class are from Maine, representing 11 different counties and over 20 different towns. In 2 previous years, there were only 10 and 11 students, respectively, from Maine in any dental school anywhere in the country. So we've just begun, and we've already more than doubled access to a quality dental education. We also have 5 students from New Hampshire, 4 students from Vermont, And the rest of our students, and what a good-looking group they are, wouldn't you agree? The rest of our students come from 16 different states and Canada. And each of these young men and women bring different life experiences, and they've already come together as a high-performing team working and learning toward a common goal. Through their work here in Portland and community sites throughout Maine and northern New England, our students will provide comprehensive oral health care to tens of thousands of patients each year, many of whom currently do not have access to care. Many of these students will stay to practice in Maine and northern New England and continue to improve the health of the population throughout their professional careers. You know, if you hang around here at UNE long enough, you start to feel that these buildings simply sprout out of the ground overnight. It's kind of how it works. In addition to new buildings like the College of Pharmacy and this Oral Health Center, we are surrounded by a number of historic structures. And if these buildings could speak, each of them would have stories to tell about the people who have lived and worked here and through whose efforts many young lives have been improved for the better. These structures, old and new, and the people in them have become part of the great tradition that is UNE. The Oral Health Center will continue that tradition. Yet it's not about bricks and mortar. It's not about the shining new dental equipment or the electronic patient records or the innovative curriculum. It's not even about the fireplace in the reception area. Although that is pretty neat, I have to say. Early on in this process, it was decided, before we even knew where the building would be, that there would be a fireplace. And I'll let all of you guess who made that decision. But it's not about the building, it's about the people. We all know that. It's about the architects and engineers and equipment planners and all the individual craftsmen and artists who work together, communicate constantly, and ensure that in the end everything comes together in a modern, highly functioning environment. And when you think about it, I think building such a facility is interprofessional practice at its best. I see Bill Bola and Al Tebow, sorry Al, are here. They led a team in the university that worked with all of these outside folks. In fact, I was disappointed that Al didn't march with the faculty because he knows so much about dentistry now. We're going to put him on the faculty. He's going to help us teach. It's also about the individuals and groups like yourselves who provided financial support, including Northeast Delta Dental. Is there anyone back at Delta Dental today? I think they're all here. They became our founding donors. They led the way, and I think they encouraged a lot of other individuals, groups, foundations, and others to step up to the plate and help support us. It's about the members of our university community, including the board, the president, members of the administration, and the dozens and dozens of the unsung heroes who manage our resources so efficiently and so effectively, and who provide such tremendous support for our students. Here at UNE, every person is part of our success. Every individual, every job is important. It's about faculty and staff who provide the solid foundation in the humanities and liberal arts that is so important for every student, no matter what their ultimate career path. And it's about all the healthcare professionals who teach and provide patient care, who will work together, learn from each other, and who will model the patient-centered healthcare practices of the future. And of course, this is a patient care facility, so it's about the sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, aunts and uncles, those people who will receive high-quality, compassionate care here. And most importantly, it's about our students, our dental and dental hygiene students who will learn here. We have a lot of values at UNE, and we don't just talk about them, we live them every day. One of our values is that we are student-centered. So I'm going to pause for a minute and let you hear some of the actual voices of students as expressed in the essays they write in their applications. And I won't identify them, although they may know who they are. The first is, the University of New England's College of Dental Medicine is the ideal school for me because it seeks to educate interdisciplinary, socially conscious, and clinically superior oral health providers. A very astute student. I am confident that UNE's School of Dental Medicine will give me the tools I need through academic excellence, a strong clinical approach to learning, and a supportive environment to achieve my goals of becoming an excellent dentist. UNE has established a healthcare presence in Maine. Giving back to the community is not just a buzz phrase, but also a way of doing business for UNE. I want to learn from the people who are concerned about the welfare of our community. I know that UNE understands the importance of the relationship between oral health and overall well-being, and applying this approach to patient care exemplifies the way I believe dentistry should be practiced. I'm currently studying medical biology at UNE. I chose this university for my undergraduate studies for 2 reasons. This is Gene Hayes' favorite quote. It has a great medical biology program, and it's a liberal arts college. Attending UNE allows me to indulge in both of my passions. 2 professions on the beautiful coast of Maine. Is that the right phrase? I live in a very rural area with 1 dentist serving several surrounding towns. Most people are hardworking, blue-collar individuals. Most are in need of care and have the desire to obtain that care. I want to be the dentist that provides the needed care to my community. After years of watching my mother struggle in her battle with cancer, I had become keenly aware of 2 things: the need to advocate for vulnerable populations and the importance of preserving human dignity. These realizations strengthened my desire for a career that would allow me to build long-term relationships with patients and to actively partner with those seeking to improve their quality of life. And finally, the opportunity to pioneer the first dental class at UNE is an exciting one, and I believe I would be a great addition to the program with my small-town personality, Maine ties, and the drive to show that our state has more than just lobsters. You can use that last one, Governor LePage, if you want. So let's fast forward. I like to think ahead. You know, you have to have goals. So I'm imagining right now that it's May of 2017. Believe it or not, it'll be here soon. We're gathered as a university to celebrate commencement. And these 64 young men and women will walk across the stage to shake the president's hand and receive their Doctor of Dental Medicine degree. How will we recognize them? That's going to be easy. They'll all be smiling. Not just because they're graduating, but because they have spent 4 years being treated as professional colleagues in an exciting, innovative, humanistic learning environment. They will be lifelong learners. They will know how to access and evaluate information, including the very latest scientific research, and how to use that information to provide the finest care to their patients. They will have learned human medicine and fully understand and appreciate the connections between oral health and overall health. They will learn the most up-to-date techniques in the art and science of dental practice. They will appreciate the role that each profession can play in delivering high-quality care to our patients. They will have developed communication and leadership skills and will have been exposed to the business side of healthcare practice. Our graduates will also be knowledgeable about the many issues related to access to care, health policy, and public and community health. They will have enjoyed global experiences as they bring high-quality care to those in other parts of the world. I'm envisioning a dental clinic in Morocco. I think that would be a good place. They will be leaders of their own oral health care teams as they fulfill their professional obligation to improve the oral health of all members of society. And most importantly, they will be ethical, caring people who happen to be doctors. So everyone involved in this endeavor, those present, those who are unable to join us today, those who have come before us, and those who will follow, all have played a role in this ongoing story that's UNE. And I think if you really want to understand and appreciate the connections that we have here between the past, the present, and the future, keep in mind that our dental administrative offices are across the green behind us here in Goddard Hall, which was originally built in 1857. And now we are going to occupy the new Oral Health Center, built in 2013. That's 156 years of history already in one new college in Portland, Maine. During World War II, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers coined a phrase. They said, "The difficult we do immediately, the impossible takes a little longer." Well, here at UNE, we don't buy into that. We do the impossible immediately. That's just who we are. We do work we love each day, and we help to turn our students' dreams into reality. Thank you all for helping us to make this particular dream come true. Thank you very much. You know, my kids are going to see this, and if they see their dad crying, there's going to be heck to pay for me, I can tell you that. Now, I have another real pleasure. One of the great pleasures I have, not only as a dean, but in this new role as provost, is I get to introduce our president. And, you know, it's easy to say she needs no introduction, but I always feel the need to introduce her anyway. I'm going to start with a quote. "We are all faced with a series of great opportunities, brilliantly disguised as impossible situations." That was said by a man named Charles Swindoll, but I think it could have easily been said by our next speaker. I have remarked recently that our president actually lives part of the time in the future. She sees what's going to be needed out there, and she sends emails and tweets back to us to let us know which direction to go. And I've come to believe that that's very true. Otherwise, something else is going on there that I'm not sure of. But I think this new college is an example of that talent. This impossible dream of the dental school probably began back in 2005, I don't know, maybe somewhere around there. And at that time, an initial feasibility study focused on the development of dental residencies. Our president, who dreams no small dreams, came on board, looked into the future, and saw that more than a residency program would be necessary to meet the oral health care needs of Maine and northern New England. She extended the study and directed that it be focused on the establishment of a new dental school. In 2008, the UNE Board of Trustees, a highly intelligent group of people, approved the academic plan, and in 2010, the board formally approved the establishment of a dental school. Our president, I can tell you this, she's an individual whose dedication, enthusiasm, and vision have helped make UNE such a special place. She has that unique quality that inspires all of us to accomplish more than we think is possible every day. By her example, she reminds us to honor our past, to remain fully engaged in the present, and to always keep our eyes on the future as we continue to build the University of New England into one of the great global universities of the world. So to paraphrase an old commercial, Danielle, this one's for you. As she continues in her 8th year as the president of the University of New England, please join me in welcoming Dr. Danielle Ripich.
Thank you, Dean Coble, and I share your feelings of it's an emotional day, and I think all of us who have been to graduations, to weddings, to special family ceremonies understand a lot of feelings go through your mind on those occasions, and certainly for the university, this is one of those very special occasions in the life of the University of New England's family. And it does feel like a family reunion today. So I see so many wonderful, familiar faces out there. It's a privilege to be here today for me, and I want to particularly thank Dean Coble, not just as the founding dean of the College of Dental Medicine, but as our provost and senior vice president for the University of New England. Along with our academic vice president, Ellen Beaulieu, these two people, more than anyone, have driven the project that you see behind you that we're dedicating today. And I am thrilled to reiterate my formal congratulations to them, and I'm very pleased to look forward to many, many years where the College of Dental Medicine will be a reality. As I stand here, it's hard to remember when Dean Coble said I'm starting my 8th year, it really does not seem that long ago that I first drove onto this campus. And it's true, at that time there were 3 houses on this spot, 3 small white houses that had been used by Westbrook College over the years to house people for offices and for a variety of functions. The president lived in one for a while, President Proctor. And so I'm thinking of that day at the time and how different this institution is today. Some of you may recall in 1997, the University of New England became a merged institution as Westbrook College joined the university. The core values of Westbrook College, St. Francis, and the University of New England's College of Osteopathic Medicine really came together. And as Dean Coble said, I think we have always been a private university with a public mission, dedicated to the public good, and with a particular feeling for the public good of the people of Maine. 50 years ago, as he said, we graduated our first class in dental hygiene, and here we are 50 years later bringing in our first class of dental students. And so that legacy goes on. We do indeed honor our history here at UNE, but we also move forward. And thinking about that first day that I drove onto campus, I did have a vision of a very different kind of institution. I love this campus, but what I saw was, in my mind's eye, was, I think, both practical and literal for the college. Instead of this quiet, classic New England architecture and this beautiful green, I really saw a very different place, a lively place with light spilling out and students walking across campus, and the very image of a modern university on this historic site. I saw the opportunity for more colleges dedicated to the health professions. And at UNE, we've recently been recognized as the 9th fastest growing private master's university in the United States. It's pretty amazing. This growth has emerged from a number of different parts of the institution. And the College of Osteopathic Medicine, Maine's only medical school, entered a class this fall of 177 students, which will go on. And as we know, 72% of those that do a residency in Maine stay here. So we are the largest provider of physicians for the state of Maine in the world, as Dr. McAfee reminds me, not just in Maine. That's very good. The College of Arts and Sciences, as Dean Coble said, is at the heart of the liberal arts learning for the entire university. Our College of Graduate Studies here houses the only accredited program in public health in the state of Maine, and we care very much about the health of the state. Our College of Pharmacy, that in May graduated its inaugural class, has done wonderful work in the short time that they have been a part of the university. And Westbrook College of Health Professions was our first named college, and it was named to honor the health professions programs that Westbrook brought to the university and the role of Westbrook in the history of UNE. And now today is an amazing day. We are honoring the 6th college, the College of Dental Medicine, and they join the ranks of this rapidly growing modern university here in Maine. We are committed to building a quality college, and when we opened the College of Pharmacy in just 5 short years ago, we did this with a vision to create a top-flight college, and we are doing that same thing here. The College of Pharmacy has had a very broad community approach, and we believe that that is the same approach we're going to use with the dental school. We know that there is a need for better oral health care in northern New England. That need's been well documented. And so the vision that we had for this was joined with the vision of our Board of Trustees and others. Many of you here today actually helped us, and were committed to making this school a reality. And the students that we have recruited, the patients that we will serve, this is going to be a transformative institution, I believe, for Maine and for the region of northern New England. So as we dedicate this college, I encourage you, if you're in Portland sometime, drive by in the evening and look at the light spilling out of this building, and on the other corner of the campus, the College of Pharmacy, and at the students studying and walking across that campus. And I hope that it's more than just this architectural beauty, I believe, that inspires us. This is a place where aspirations are alive and well, and you see our students aspiring to a life of service and improving the health of the patients that they are going to be serving and the health of our communities. So I'd like to thank all of you that helped make this vision a reality, and particularly the citizens of the state of Maine. The state of Maine stepped up in the midst of the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression, and they voted to support a bond referendum in 2010 that ultimately led to the awarding of $3.5 million. It was the difference in us being able to actually build this college. And this is the facility that you're going to see today as a result of that bond. In addition, I would like to thank Governor LePage, who, as a candidate before he was elected, came forward and supported the bond. And this was a true grassroots effort. It's the best of Maine. It was not in the legislative, that bond was not part of the legislative package. The governor at that time did not support the bond, but this came from the people of Maine, and we honor their good investment today with our work. I want to acknowledge the members of the legislature that are here with us today and tell them how much we appreciate this bipartisan commitment that came out of the state of Maine to support education and health care. And I'd like to particularly thank Sheila Panett, the director of Maine's Center for Disease Control, Judith Feinstein, director of Maine's Oral Health Program, who have joined us for this milestone. Their support has been very important to us being able to move forward. And lastly, I would like to thank a person and an organization that actually may have been a bit in front of me in the vision. And as Dean Coble said, Northeast Delta Dental has really helped lead the way, and their CEO, Tom Raffio, is here. Without his early and strong support, none of this would have been possible, no matter how psychic I might have thought I was. We needed that help. Tom and his board members and staff present with us today, I really appreciate their leadership gift of $2.3 million that made this begin to be a reality. I'd like to ask you to stand and be acknowledged, all the Delta Dental folks, if you would. We appreciate your generosity and that of many of the folks that are here with us today. So if you see them as we're touring the building, please help in thanking them and showing our appreciation for this philanthropic spirit and this really dedication to oral health care. We are so fortunate to be the beneficiary of this visionary and transformative new college, and it gives me great pleasure to be able to stand here today and thank all of you personally for helping make this possible. And now I'd like to introduce the individual that I mentioned earlier who helped lead this through the state and has been an advocate for the importance of this college throughout his tenure as our governor here in Maine. Our governor, Paul R. LePage.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here. President Rippich, Dean Coble, it's really an honor to be asked to participate in this activities today. I mean, to think of it, my mom and dad would be so proud that I was in a group of academians. I mean, I'm telling you. I truly want to thank everyone from Northeast Delta Dental for their early on, their contribution of $2.3 million to get this going, and for the rest of the people that contributed to this great college. This is very, very important for Maine. To the students, I want to tell you it's an ironic day for me to be standing here. As dentists, you are going to be asking your patients to open their mouths. I spend my days having my staff telling me to close mine. know, I firmly believe that the future of the state of Maine is through its youth. And while President Rippich has been here 8 years, believe me, she's very youthful. She's a very youthful thinker. She's creative. She's a visionary. And without people like President Rippich and Dean Coble, our state would continue in status quo. And believe me, as your governor, I struggle with status quo every day. I struggle to be the 50th worst state in the country to do business. I struggle with a legislature that loves status quo. But these students that are entering this school today, this College of Dentistry, you know, it's not only the first in Maine, but it's the first in northern New England. That's important. That puts Maine on the map. You know, I'm very, very passionate for education, and as I said earlier, my staff's always telling me to shut up. But I do have to tell you something that happened just 2 weeks ago, I think it was. I was with President Rippich, and President Bush was there, and Barbara Bush was there. And believe me, there's nobody in the world that my wife and I love any more than Barbara and President Bush. But she took me aside. She said, Governor, she says, you're going to be into fight of your life next year. It's going to be a big campaign. The AFL-CIO has named you as the #2 guy to go after in the country. And so I just want to give you some little advice from someone that's been through these many battles. Zip it. So today, it's a very exciting day to be here, and I can be myself and say I'm so happy to see something good happening in our great state. And believe me, it's only the beginning, because with presidents like President Rippich and President like Ferguson, who just recently came to the state of Maine up at the University of Maine, Orono, we have people with creativity who will lead. Instead of sitting back and embracing status quo, we are leading. And the 8 short years that the president's been here, this university is now ranked in the top 10 fastest growing universities in the nation. That is really, really important. It's not only important to our great state and to the faculty, but to the students that are graduating from this institution every year. It's really a great institution. With the cost of higher ed skyrocketing around the country and student loans going out of control, the University of New England is providing a good value, a good return on investment. And that's as important as having the School of Dentistry, to have a good return on the investment that parents and students make for themselves and their futures. I mean, I have 5 children. One of them lives in Maine. And believe me, it's not a good thing. My aim as a governor is to have them all live in Maine. I would love Maine to be able to provide great jobs and great careers for our students. And this is what the university is doing. By having students come from Maine to a Maine university, the chances, as the president says, 72% will stay here. That's very important. That's the foundation that we need for the next generation and future generations to move Maine out of 50th place into a leading, progressive, and prosperous state. We can do it, we will do it. We're very, very fortunate that we have President Rippich. I just need to clone her into a couple hundred. Because that's really what it takes. These students when they graduate, are going to have a great career. They're being educated in a great state, and I truly hope that you all stay here because you can make the state not only beautiful, but prosperous because of your knowledge, your experience here at the university, and the staff and the support that the community gives for this great college. I can't tell you enough how important it is to keep growing. You know, I'll tell you, the first time I went to a dentist, I was out of college. The only dentist we got when I was a kid, he played hockey. And when I was 22, they started putting him back in my mouth. So, congratulations. It's a real honor to be here. It's a real pleasant experience to work with President Rippich. She is a very creative, innovative, and can-do leader, and I hope that you have the next college is a college on leadership, because she'd be the great dean for that one. Thank you so much.
Don't go. Thank you very much. Thank you. Don't go yet. Stay up here. You need to be one minute. Is this it?
Here it is. I got it. I got it. All right. Okay. Okay. And I think you would say that, and I hand.
No, that's you.
Okay.
How would you like to do it?
I would like to, I get to be the presenter. I like that. Governor LePage, we would like you to accept this gift on behalf of the citizens of Maine in gratitude for their support of the College of Dental Medicine and in commemoration of this historic event in the state of Maine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. I probably won't have many opportunities, but I made a note to myself, never follow the governor on the podium, because I'll be dull after that. We want to thank you, Governor LePage. We want to thank everyone here today for your support. Before we move to the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new patient care, the Oral Health Center, I want to acknowledge the work of Port City Architecture, their consultants, Kaler Slater, who are here with us, who designed this beautiful landmark of a building, and the construction team from Allied Cook, who have done such an incredible job, which this usually is the president's story. Do you want to tell it, or should I tell it? All right, thank you very much. It's my day. But it's all about her. No, I joke, but I can tell you one of the great qualities I admire that our president has is it is absolutely never about her. It's always about the work of the University of New England. And I think that's a quality we all should emulate. Well, the Allied Cook story, the last time the governor was here, he held a press conference. We had a dirt floor. There was still construction going on. We came over to watch the press conference and be involved. And I walked into the building and I saw this young man who looked familiar, but I couldn't quite place him. And the reason is the last time I had seen him, he was here for an interview. And of course, when the students come for interviews, they look like they do today. You know, it looks like an undertaker's convention. They have these dark suits and white shirts and dark ties. So he was there in blue jeans and a hard hat, and he introduced himself, and oh yeah, hi, how are you? Well, he worked for Allied Cook. He has helped build other buildings on UNE's campuses. And so I ran over to the president, who got all excited and grabbed him and grabbed some photographers, and Matt Cook was there. And the president was talking about how this young man was building this building, and he was going to join the first class at the dental school in August. And of course, he had yet to tell Matt Cook that he was going to resign. So that was a little awkward, but not for too long. So only in Maine do we make the students build their own dental school. But when you get inside this building, you'll see it's not only a technologically state-of-the-art teaching and training facility, it's a fantastic space. It really is, for learning and care that we believe will inspire students and welcome patients for generations to come. And now to help us dedicate the College of Dental Medicine Oral Health Center, I would ask President Rippich and Governor LePage to proceed to the entrance for the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5.